There we go, that's better. Woohoo, sorry. I've done something to my settings and messed up. I shall start again. I shall start again. Hi, guys. Um, I shall start again. Last night I was getting ready to um, live stream. I literally had everything sitting there waiting to go. Then I saw that Joy was on Andy Warski's channel doing a live stream about all the shit that she's had. I think the live stream was called Joy Sparkle Calls Everybody Out. So it was like, okay, so we'll see what this is like. And the vast majority of it, believe it or not, was a shit show. They had multiple people on, and these multiple people were, only one of them was a detractor of Joy. Only one of them was one of the people that called Joy out. And there was one guy that went through the entire of Repsion's and Nick Monroe's videos. Well, Repsion's videos and Nick Monroe's article. Now, one of the things that one of these guys said, I'm not sure if I he said that under his research that pre-gabbling, which is the motor that she was on, otherwise known as Lyrica, is something that can a lot of people are saying that it's something that can antagonize copper toxicity. He said that he found a paper saying that it didn't. I have one here, and you guys can see it, where it says toxicity in brain, blah blah blah. Copper plays a role, where possible. We propose a possible use for the treatment to destruction of copper homeostasis. Basically saying that there is a possibility that there is an issue. I have actually requested the full thing. I just haven't received it yet. This is the live stream. I won't make you go through it. I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. Come on. And it was this one here. There was Nick Monroe, Guy Colour, JF, Andy, obviously, and Joy. So, right. First of all, when a lot of the main issue people were saying was that technically nobody brought the gag order because it wasn't what Joy knew wasn't discussed publicly until after she told Chambers, I think it was, and then Chambers revealed something or other. I'm not 100% sure. Because I was trying my best not to zone out, but unfortunately I did a few times. And apparently that's how it got out. But the fact that if, say for example, this was to happen again, and this time I was the person that somebody went to, and somebody was to tell me stuff, I wouldn't tell anybody what I knew. I wouldn't even say on this channel, or I know stuff that you guys don't know, but I can't tell you. Because then you're just going to get called out, because you are technically not breaking the gag order because you are not discussing it publicly. But the fact that you are actually sitting there and saying, I know stuff, means that people are going to question your validity and question your motives in this. Apparently she did a evidence dump on Rose. I didn't watch that because I wasn't even aware of it until last night, and I'm not going to, because it's like people are saying, the main issue was why are people going on about it even now? Why, when Joy's been off YouTube since October? Why why are people still talking about it? The last time I talked about it, let's have a look. Let's have a look. When was the last time I talked about Joy? Let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a look. Ooh, excuse me. Right. Videos. A month ago, because I did it in summary, and then a month ago I also did a video on Joy about the fact that she's learnt nothing, because she just keeps talking about this. But the thing is, the reason why so many people went in on it was because she was saying she knew information when she wasn't telling people, and obviously people were then questioning whether or not there was issues with the case because she knew information that nobody should have known. And apparently she's saying that at first she said that she found it out through normal means, and then she said that she found out through Tim. But the whole factor is first of all, why did she get involved in the first place? Why did she feel the need to get involved? It puzzles me. Once Phil started the ball rolling, once Phil started this whole thing going, why did she get involved and start talking about it to the extent that she was, when people were telling her to back off? Because she has, and I'm gonna sort of project one of my favourite YouTubers here. I'm going to project Jenna here. She has what Jenna calls the too much gene, where she doesn't know where to stop, essentially. She did it with On Easy On, and she did it with Daddy of 5, where it was multiple videos a day on the same thing, over and over and over again. And it's like she'd be talking about what everybody knew, and, you know, that she's in contact with the family, and that she's trying to help the family, etc. And then, towards the end of it, the relationship between her and Rose soured. And one of the things that she's accusing Rose of is using everybody for money and other things. Again, I'm not going to comment on that because I'm not involved in that, and I couldn't care less. At the end of the day, the major issue, which was the issue that Phil Rose, has been solved, and the fact that she got custody, Rose got custody, she didn't, and then they went back into foster care, and then they went back to Rose, means that that she will be on Child Protective Services radar for a while. So Rose saying, oh, that this, that, and the other, well, she's going to be on Child Protective Services radar for a while, and if Joy has evidence of that, then she should take it to the appropriate people, like we did when this whole thing kicked off. Like the people like Daz Games did, like Phil did, and several others, where they went to the appropriate people and said, look, this is the issue, you need to fix it. But Joy didn't know where to stop, and one of the major issues people were having was the fact that she would just continue on and on and on and on and on and on. And then when a lot of people were saying that she was exploiting the thing, because a lot of us weren't talking about it, we were talking about her talking about it. And we're saying, you know, Joy, leave it, let it settle, let the family sort itself out, let them deal with it. And she's like, I'm raising money, blah blah blah. So, you know, she's kicking off that people were attacking her because she was trying to help Rose, and then she's saying that apparently Rose was using all the people she was talking to. But at the end of the day, Joy shouldn't have been in a position for Rose to use her. Joy is a YouTuber in a completely different state as far as I'm aware. So why is Rose involved in these issues? Makes no sense whatsoever. Then, on top of that, you've got the fact that there was people, it could be family or it could be not family, saying, oh, you know, she's mentally, we've been trying to get her committed. There's questions about that validity, which is fine. Then there's like I said, there's a whole other thing. Like I said, there are some studies that say it helps with copper toxicity, and there's some studies saying that it doesn't, that it actually hurts with copper toxicity. But that's the thing with science, that we will. The only way for us to know is to do certain tests, and some of them tests are a little bit nasty. So when you have something like this where somebody gets too involved in a situation, it can cause kickback, and that's what Joy suffered from. Now, one thing I will say is Joy and the people in her life, and her friends, and her family, and her boyfriend, I don't agree with doxing, I never have. I don't agree in any way with revealing people's personal information. That's why you never see photos of my family. You've seen a few of my friends from when we went to London, but that's it. And the main person that was on my vlog on that point, he has a YouTube channel himself because he's in a band. So it's one of those things where she tried to protect people, but it didn't work, because she would communicate with people in a certain manner and put, whether intentionally or unintentionally, put their information out there in that respect. But the fact that people were hunting down this information, I don't agree with. I've never agreed with doxing. I don't like it. And I will never do it. It's not something I intend to do. And it's not something that I will ever do, because it's not fair. She did at one point say that there's this group of 20 people that Chambers got together and said, look, we're going to ruin Joy, type of thing. And that's what started the attacks. And one of the people, she said, there's a British woman, and I hope to God she doesn't mean me, because at the beginning of all this, and for the vast majority of it, I've actually said that a lot of the stuff that Joy's gone through, I don't agree with. I don't agree with your business being called. I don't agree with your boss being called. I don't agree with your landlord being called, or your mother, or your father, or anything like that. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with people putting your name and address, your real name and address out there. I don't agree with that, because the plain simple fact that it's dangerous, and I refuse to be a partner to it. I've always said with Joy that the one thing that pisses me off about her is the fact that A, she doesn't know when to back down, B, she repeats herself multiple times, and D, she doesn't know when to stop. And the stream actually proved my point perfectly. Towards the end, when Nick actually admitted that some of the information that he got might have been biased against Joy. Right. And obviously, the fact that Repzion used a lot of Nick's information meant that Repzion's evidence was biased. Okay. He actually said that he would take down the article, and he would do a tweet explaining why he's taken down the article, saying that some of the evidence in the article can't be backtracked and isn't reliable, and is potentially problematic, shall we say. And I hate using that word, but it could be potentially problematic, and it could be potentially wrong, right? Who was it that got him to admit to that? King. This is what I mean. And the person and the rational member of all of this will actually make you laugh. Keemstar actually got him to admit this, and Keemstar is not one of my favourite people, especially when it comes to the Daddy of Five. But on this one, he was actually quite rational. He said he actually got Nick to admit that some of the evidence wasn't backtracked, blah blah blah. And then Joy says, well, I want this, and I want this, and I want that. And then King just went, hold on a minute, Joy. Calm down a minute. This is what I mean. He actually said to her, you take things too personally. So she's wanting a whole new article saying what he got, for him to explain what he got wrong and why he got it wrong. And because originally this was discussed on a previous live stream that happened, I think it was Friday or Saturday, which is the evidence dump one. And he said that he would issue a retraction and show his sources, essentially. But then he said no, because he was afraid that some of the people that he thought were connected to Joy were at risk of being attacked by Joy. So that's why he didn't release that information. Then he got on, when he did this stream, he actually said he would take down the article and issue a statement saying the article has been taken down because numerous parts of the article cannot be blah blah blah, and Joy is wanting all this shit, and it's like, and Keemstar just turned around and said to her, look, you need to scale it back a little bit, you need to backtrack a little bit, and he's not going to say, I got this evidence wrong, I got that evidence wrong, and this is why, because then it could potentially put his sources at risk. All he needs to do is take the article down and say the article is being taken down because of this. The evidence isn't reliable. But she was wanting all this other stuff, and Keemstar's like, whoa, Joy. So he actually said to her, look, he said a lot of stuff on YouTube it's shitty, where you do get threats. I've received some. I received one the other day, but it's no longer on that video because I took it off. Everybody receives threats. It's commonplace, and it's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. If you are in the public eye in any way, you are liable to suffer from threats, because that's what YouTube is. I don't agree with people calling a boyfriend works. I don't agree with people calling a family. I don't agree with people calling anything, or a doctor, anything like that. I don't agree with that. And I've never agreed with that, and I never will. Like I said, the last time I talked about Joy was a month ago, and the last time before that was 2 months ago. And then last time before that was 4 months ago. So the only time I talk about her is when she pops up again, like this. I was ready to drop it, and I hope that this will be my last ever Joy video, because I'm getting sick about talking about this broad. At the end of the day, when it comes to issues like this, it's one of the reasons why I will report but I won't get involved. Purely because of the issue of, you get too involved, you get too roped into the situation, you get too pulled into the situation, and people are like, why are you doing this, and why are you doing that, and why are you doing this, and why are you doing that, and it's like, you might have the best intentions at heart, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's the way it's going to be. And it doesn't necessarily mean that that's how things are going to progress, shall we say. In this situation, this news story's been gone for ages. The only thing that ever keeps Joy in the public eye is when she grabs up and she says shit again. The last time she spoke up and I talked about it was the whole Kilroy thing, and then the time before that was the fact that she was on YouNow, was spouting all sorts. But at the end of the day, I think I only truly ever talked about the whole Dario 5 situation entirely in one video, and it wasn't even monetized, and it's aggravating as hell. Another thing she's whining about is because she deleted her channel, that she doesn't have the analytics to say how much she got paid for the Dario 5 videos. She did do, and apparently she did give that money to Rose, which, okay, I'll give you that. She probably did do that. But there was if there was different ways of going around fundraising for something like this. There was different ways of going around raising money for a situation like this, and the way that Joy did it is not only problematic, but it's also once the evidence is gone, it's gone. And when she deleted the channel, the evidence is gone. So, also most of the live stream, oh my god, she was effing and blinding at Pooh Nick. They all were, especially her. Like I say, I think the most rational one out of the lot of them was King, which is saying a lot. Oh, Tim, you do make me giggle. Oh, you do make me giggle. But yeah, hopefully this will be my last Joy video. I'm getting sick of talking about this bitch. Like I say, on some fronts, she was right. On a lot of the Greg shit, she was right. On some of the Daddy of Five shit, yeah, Mike Martin was a dick. And we all knew that, and we all already knew that. Right. Let's have a look at something. Philip DeFranco's video, the initial video he did about this whole situation, the video that brought up this whole thing to the level which it ended up at, was 10 months ago, and it has 5 million views. Hey, but yes, she was, but oh my god, she was just like, you little prick, and I was just thinking, Joy, shut up. I'm not joking, I had to sit through, how long was the video? Oh god, I have to go back now. Come on. Just have a look how long the video was, because I went through the vast majority of the video, unfortunately. It was 3 hours, and I think I watched about 2 3/4 of it. So I went to bed with a headache last night, which you can imagine. But yeah, the fact that she was just literally, she just wanted to go on and on and on and on and on about it. And they got Nick early on to admit that he was wrong in some aspects. But she carried on, and she had the fact that she just continued on. Oh, it was like, are you seriously still going on in this? Like I say, some of the stuff she was right, but the fact that I would never, ever, even if I was really pissed off, do 7 videos in 24 hours about somebody, ever. And she did that with Onision in the 24 hours before the live stream debate. Why? It's just going to push his buttons. It's just going to piss him off. The fact that she thinks it's, that everybody owes her something. No. At the end of the day, you got way too involved in a situation that came back and bit you in the ass. And a lot of us were telling you that. And I'm not just talking about those of us that are detractors of Joy, but I'm also talking about some of the people that were fans of Joy were saying, back off. But she carried on. And then it came back and bit her in the ass. And the fact that she didn't, I would have seen this coming. And me and Joy are, I think we're about 3 or 4 years apart, I'm slightly older. And I'm not sure why it is that I would have seen this coming. I would have seen this coming 10 years ago. And she didn't, I'm not sure. But, might be because I'm a cynically minded bitch, but that might be it. could be it. But the fact that she was too involved in a situation that started off fucked up and got more fucked up as time went by, and the fact that she got way too involved in way too deep and way too... It's like her whole channel became Daddy of Five. Like, before that, it had been on Esion. And instead of... If she'd have... The format that she had for Onision, if she'd have done that with a wider range of people, so say Leafy or the Paul Brothers or Key or whoever, right? If she'd have been critical of a lot of YouTubers, like me and like so many others, then fine. She probably, A, would still be on the platform, B, she wouldn't be as hated as she is, and C, she wouldn't suffer the nastiness that she's suffering, which I don't agree with. But the fact that she literally went beeline for one person and then went from that person to another person, and then when she did start going to a different path, when she started on that, she attacked that BuzzFeed video. And the fact is, she completely missed the boat on that as well, because she didn't think of Asperger's, she didn't think of any form of autism at all, or she didn't think of people that have suffered from anxiety, have issues expressing themselves in a social environment, which I have friends that are like that, I have family that are like that, I have family that have Asperger's, and the fact that she completely missed the boat and then she got attacked for that, because she's like, re-accuse. Yeah, she has what Jenna Marbles, my queen of YouTube, calls the too much gene, which is where basically you don't know when to stop. Which explains Joy. Like I said, I don't agree with people putting any personal information out there. I don't agree with people exposing her in a boyfriend's relationship. I don't agree with people exposing her medical records. I don't agree with people exposing addresses or information about doctors and things like that. I don't agree with that. Exactly. One of the guys in chat just said, I think Joy's biggest enemy is Joy herself. Yes. She doesn't know when to stop. And the only time I ever talked about Daddy 5 was when I was talking about her. And I try not to do that at the level that she was doing it. I try not to do that at the level that a lot of other YouTubers are doing it at. Hi Tim, definitely Tim. Definitely. But, and apparently there is evidence out there that was either Chambers or one of the others who got this group together to viciously attack her. It's like, really, bitch? Really? You're gonna play that card? Whether or not that's true, I don't know. I've never been a part of it. I've just said my opinion. And the only time I've talked about her is when she's made her presence felt on the interwebs. You know what I mean? I don't talk about her all the time. I refuse to. My channel does not revolve around her. My channel does not revolve around one particular person, and it never will. I think one of my first videos was on her. It was either her or John or one of the two. But I do other videos. But the fact is, she went from doing multiple videos a day on multiple channels about Onion Boy, and then turned and did exactly the same with Daddy 5. And that's one of the things that pissed people off, which is not something that was addressed. But like I said, the fact that Keemstar was the most rational one out of them really does surprise me, because he actually said to try you don't know when to stop. He said, look, we've got him to admit to do this. You can't ask him to do that, because what's the point? All he needs to do is say some of the evidence that was provided to me is non-reliable. Delete the post and explain why it's no longer there, which is exactly what Nick said he'd do. Exactly. One of the guys in the chat just said, says a lot when Keemstar's the rational person, most rational, exactly. Because he came in, then he went out. He literally had 5 minutes, and then he went out, and then he came back again, and it was towards the end where he actually got Joy to say, look, where he actually said to Joy, look, you need to stop. He said, he said two things. First of all, you take things way too personally, which is true, she does. I did when I first started, but I don't know whether it's because I used to be bullied or what, but I know now that it's just people behind a keyboard that just want attention, and as soon as you don't give them it, they go away. But the fact that she literally pushed so many people's buttons is one of the reasons why so many people do videos on her. And it's like, I know there's this whole thing going on with the political and anti-social justice warrior channels that are all fighting against each other, which I'm not getting involved in because I'm not part of that group. Yes, a large part, at one point she did say she was the one who brought this whole Daddy of Five thing to everybody's opinions. Right. I'll just prove my own point here. No, that's it. Alright. So Joy raised everything to the public's attention. Then what's that? I think you'll find that Phil did that, not Joy. And Joy just made everything a lot worse than it was. A lot worse than it should have been. Yeah. Exactly. It's like, no bitch, you didn't bring everything to people's attention. Phil did. And there's a lot of point of views that Phil and other people can explain and explore. A, because Phil's a father, and B, because he had a pretty shitty childhood. I'm the only other person who he actually said something in a video, and every time I watch it, it makes me hurt. See if I can find it. I think that's it. I'll see if I can find it and then I'll share it with you.
We're Rhett and Link, and we wanted to show you how we created our amazing
Let's see if I can find it. I wasn't going to show you this because it brings tears to my eyes.
new website with Wix.
Now, we know that having a great website is crucial because when we look good on...
Right. Right, let me find it. Let me see if I can find it. Just see if I can find it. Oh, it might not be that one. No, it's not that one. I'm after something specific. Right, see if I can find it. I'm after something very specific, and it's part of
stories and comment back to your comments. I mean,
there's a very specific reason why it hurts me. When I listen to it, I'll show you. So, come on. Come on. Come on.
Well, I want to apologize in advance.
And there's a video somewhere, I'm struggling to find it, where in one of these things, Phil actually explains that there's a video, and Buggy is explaining why he's so happy that Phil did what he did, because he wished that somebody would have done that for him when Buggy was going through his shit. And you know, Buggy's, he's my dude, and I love that guy to pieces. And it just every time it hurts every time, and it's like ouch. Every time he says it, it's like ouch. And I can't find it, and it's doing me head in. If I ever find it, I will tweet it. How's that? But it's like, ouch. The fact that, two pretty big YouTubers, Buggy and Phil, are probably, for me, two of the strongest voices, because they've been through shit like that. And it's like, Joy says her family are toxic, this, that, and the other, and she's not gone into it, that's up to her. There's a lot of my family history that you guys don't know, but that's up to me. And we don't know what Joy's been through that made her get so involved. She's probably been through shit herself, and if she has, I'm sorry for that. But it doesn't mean that she should be allowed to say what she wants when she wants about stuff, about people. I think I found it.
You want to create a stunning website? I've already done it with Wix.
Right, just one
Let me show you how it's done. I mean, I'm going to need to put these. I can't see without them.
Welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show.
Let me just find it. Come on. Right. Found it. Right. File share. Large screen.
Said this.
And I think Philip DeFranco is a fucking hero for having the balls to make that video and for intervening and drawing attention to it and leaving it open-ended. He didn't make any accusations. He just left it open-ended. I think that's amazing because I will tell you, I would have done anything. I would have done anything for someone to have intervened on my behalf.
Ouch, that hurts my heart. It hurts that somebody like Buggy's been through a shit like that. And I know Phil's been through it. Having gone through shit does not give her the whole pass to be ever like exactly. Just because you've been just because you've been through shit doesn't give a serial killer a pass on being a serial killer. You know what I mean? Just because you've been through shit doesn't mean that she's allowed to say what she wants and what she doesn't want, and allowed to say anything like that when it's got literally nothing to do with that. It's like a serial killer saying, oh yeah, sorry, I killed people, I was abused as a kid. The two, there's no correlation between the two. I know people that have been abused that have had extremely loving relationships, that have had kids that they haven't hurt. And just because you've been through shit doesn't mean that you are able to give people shit. I do feel bad for her if she has been through shit. But, you know, like I say, Boogie and Phil have both been through shit. But they're both very decent men. And both extremely good businessmen and know what they're doing. You know what I mean? It's like, it really does my head in when people say, oh, I killed because I was abused when I was 6. Like, one's got anything to do with the other. Do one. As we say in England, do one. True, in Joy's world it's all about Joy. Very true. She's very much I wouldn't like to diagnose it, but I would definitely say she's self-centered. But, I hope this is the last time I speak about her. I really do. You know, yes, I don't agree with the fact that people are doxing her. Yes, I don't agree with people threatening her. But on the flip side of that, I also don't agree with the way she approached the Daddy of Five situation. I also don't agree with the way she approached the Onision situation. When it comes to Onision, you have to be careful. Because that guy, you know, that guy, he is the main snake of the internet for a reason. You know, he is one of the villains of the internet for a reason. Joy, however, didn't obviously think about that, and she's just made things in the social commentary world a hell of a lot harder because of her. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Exactly, Zemsky, you reap what you saw, definitely. One of the other guys has just said there's a stream from months ago where Sia is having an anxiety attack and Joy doesn't even acknowledge it. She literally keeps just talking about herself while Sia is obviously suffering. Won't surprise me. At the end of the day, she says she did this for the kids, and I really want to believe that, but I can't, considering how things played out, because she's now essentially turning her back on Rose. And if she really thought the kids were at risk with Rose, then she would have done something, and the kids wouldn't be with Rose if they were at risk with Rose. Whether Rose has manipulated people, that's on Rose's head. I'm not saying Rose is perfect, because I'd pretty much say she isn't. But the fact that Joy took it upon herself to inject herself into such a volatile and I know someone who has it, I can't remember who has it on their channel. I couldn't finish the video exactly. It's one of those things where Joy injected herself too far into a situation and got too involved. And a lot of us have done that in the past. But the fact that she's like, everybody is attacking me. There's a difference between doxing and throwing your information out there, which is bad, and I don't agree with that, and then receiving death threats on the internet, which I've received plenty of, but it doesn't stop me. You know what I mean? The fact that she thinks that she's above all this and that she's wonderful is like, really, bitch? And, that she did this out of the goodness of her heart. No, you saw an opportunity to progress your channel, and it did that, but it also had a backlash to it. When people saw how deeply you were involved in the situation, and people didn't like that, because people, including myself, thought that the children were at risk if she carried on. And a lot of people still do. The fact that she's now decided to share a lot of Rose's information could really cause the kids even more problems. And I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens. I just hope I don't have to sit through another 3 hours of her again. But I do understand her coming out and saying, look, I've been attacked, blah, blah, blah. Not physically attacked, but the way she's been attacked. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with people trying to ruin her. I don't agree with people trying to bring down the channel. When her channel started, it was great. But then she got too much of a tunnel vision on Onion Boy. And I was like, done. When you do something like YouTube, you can't do it the way that Joyce does it, because it does become detrimental to your health. One of the issues she has said is that one of the issues she had is that it was causing her illness to get worse, which may be true, which is one of the reasons why I no longer do daily videos. But she was doing multiple videos a day. If she'd have done a couple of videos a week, she probably could have stayed on YouTube and probably done better videos for those couple of videos a week, rather than doing 20 videos over 7 days, talking about the same shit over and over again. She doesn't address the valid criticisms people have, like why she got so centered on Onision and why she got so centered on Daddy 5. She doesn't address any of that. She doesn't address why she involved her health issues on a channel that had nothing to do with her health. On this channel, there's always been videos about my health since the beginning. Always. And they'll stay. And occasionally I'll mention it. But I don't mention it at the beginning of every video, so I'm doing a video, blah, blah, blah. I still do a video. If I don't do a video, I'll do a live stream. You know, it's one of those things that just because you are ill doesn't mean everybody in the world has to know about it. But yeah, at the end of the day, what will happen, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens in the long run, whether this new video this live stream that Joy did has any effect on Rose. We shall have to wait and see. I hope that the kids do find a safe place, whether that's with Rose or somewhere else. I don't know, but those kids, especially Cody, shouldn't be going back to that house at all. I think if that happened, the entire internet will go mental. But one thing really annoyed me about her was she claimed that she was the reason why the kids were no longer with Mike and his Mrs. whatever she's called, Heather. She claimed that it was all due to her when it wasn't. Yeah, she helped with the fundraising of information, fundraising and things like that. But she didn't help bring it to people's attention because she didn't have that big of a range. The person that brought it to everybody's attention was Phil. And it was because of Phil that multiple news sources took it, both print and digital and TV. So that's one thing that really annoyed me. Why take credit for something that's actually because of somebody else? Winds me up. Right, I'm going to come off and I'm going to chill and draw for a bit because I need to relax. And I've also got to get up in the morning because my Markiplier t-shirt comes in the morning. So you'll be seeing that in Wednesday and Friday's videos because it's coming tomorrow. Yay! It should have actually come today, even though I only did it Friday and it comes from America. Oh well, I'm not complaining. But yeah, they tried to deliver it this morning, so I had to get up early to sort that out in the morning. Because my husband will be up till 9 and then he'll come to bed till about 2. So, thank you guys. I will, Zemsky. The Uber need to be remembered. Yeah. Very much so. Very much so. I will be good, and I will be. You will see me Wednesday and Friday, and probably on Sunday. So, catch you later soon. See you later. Bye.